What's going on? We're getting ready to do a leaf cleanup to this property. So now coming into the backyard, we've got this patio here, which is fine. It's easy to blow leaves across concrete. But over here we've got this fence, and it's welded, you know, so we can't like take a section off or anything. If it was bolted on, I could actually remove a section and then blow the leaves through here, down and out, and then put the section back on. But because it's welded, it's not an option. We can blow them through, but that's still difficult. So we'll be able to get a little bit through, but not a lot. So what I'm going to do is we're actually going to show up with a blower, and we're going to blow through this way. We're going to kick everything onto the turf, and then we're probably going to tarp it, drag it around, or we might blow it up, out there, down, and then back around, down and out. It really just depends on how wet the leaves are. I use a tarping method more when the leaves are wet, because they're more difficult to move with a blower when they're wet. So, you know, using the tarping method, you can get them on the tarp, then you drag them and just get them out that way. If they're real wet, you can use the mower to pull them. Now over here, it's going to be a little more difficult because these bushes, they're probably 4 foot wide. So, you know, it's going to be harder to blow them through. So what we're going to have to do is kind of blow through here. There's a section that you can kind of see through there. So the leaves will blow through that section pretty easy that way, and then we'll be able to pull them, probably push them out this way, going down, and then it's just a little bit of whatever works best. Now, then we come around, we've got the pool as an obstacle. We don't want to get a whole lot of stuff onto the pool cover, and then we'll try to blow everything off that we can. In here we've got the bed, and just kind of looking at it, we've got light mulch. Looks like it's a natural cedar, maybe it was a brown, but it shouldn't be too much of a problem. You don't want to kick all the mulch out of somebody's bed. They've invested money to make their flower beds look good, so don't trash them out. But you can see, like, even though this yard looks good, you know, the turf area is pretty well cleaned up. The beds have a lot of material in them, so they haven't been touched all year. That's where a project gets to be more financially tasking on a property. It's not cleaning the leaves up out of the yard. You can use the mower, mulch them up or bag them, and it's fast. What takes time and what is consuming and what costs the most money is any area with obstacles. So flower beds. And here's the thing about flower beds. Flower beds, corners right there aren't bad. Then we got, you know, planted stuff, but you know, this is a plant, this is a plant. Oh, I'm not sure what that is. It's got thorns on it, almost like a barberry, but it's not a barberry. Barberries are evergreen. And then, you know, we've just got a lot of plants in here, and so while it doesn't look like it, it causes a choke point, causes issues. So over here, a little bit of material in the corner. I'm gonna give him a call and ask him if he wants his beds cleaned out, because he's like, yeah, there's not many leaves, they've already been cleaned up some. So I don't know if he's just wanting me to clean up just the turf and what's in this yard section. If so, this is an in and out easy job. If not, we're looking at probably, you know, 2 hours just for the back, because the thing is, the back takes longer than the front, because what you have to do is you have to blow it all out, then you have to move the material from the back to the front, then you have to either bag it, tarp it, and load it in your setup, or for me, I use a machine debris loader and I vacuum it up. But there's time involved, okay? And probably the quickest method, if you're going from backyards, the quickest method is, well, you can mulch it if it's not a whole lot. That's pretty decently quick. But to me, in my opinion, the quickest method is actually putting it onto a tarp and loading it into your setup. When you load it in your setup on a tarp, it's fast, but you're limited on how much material you can move away, because it's not really reduced. You can reduce it with your mower by mulching it, then tarping it, then putting it into the setup, but you still have a lot of time involved because of mulching. So at that point, moving the tarp to the front and then vacuuming it up is just as quick. It really all depends on what you need to do for your setup and what your workload is. If you don't have a heavy workload, a leaf loader might not be for you. If you don't have a whole lot of leaf cleanups, a leaf loader might be a waste of money for you. But if you have a lot of leaf cleanups, or you're a far distance away from your dump facility, or you have a limited space for your debris, you know, like in this case, I carry the 61, I carry a 36, and then my space is this truck bed. This is all I have to load the material up in. That's not a whole lot of space. So the debris loader reduces the size, and then I'm able to fit a lot of material. So everybody, you know, a lot of people ask, is a debris loader worth it? Is it faster? No, it's not really faster. When you get to the really big debris loaders, they'll be a lot faster. But in my opinion, the fastest method is tarping it and putting it into your trailer. But the problem is, a lot of the jobs that you see me take care of, I wouldn't be able to, I wouldn't be able to carry a mower, so I couldn't use the mower to pull the tarps. And then I would have to drag the tarp into the trailer. And it's fine when you do one, but then you get two, so you're dragging it on top of another, and then on top of another, and on top of another, and it wipes you out, man. It's hard, and it'll tear your back up. And I do a lot of leaf season stuff alone, so you know, for me, a debris loader was a good option. So I did a DIY rig with the Cyclone rig, and then I moved to the Billy Goat this year. The Billy Goat's great. It started out being an issue, but after I figured it out, it's great. We get really good reduction on the size, which allows us to get more material. So we're able to come and take care of yards. We got a lot of mature, well, this isn't really a big one, but we got a lot of mature oak trees. You can see in the back of the house, there's a real big oak tree. And there's just a lot of them in this area of town that I service. It doesn't matter where you go here in Tulsa, in this area of town, you're gonna run into huge, massive oak trees. And massive oak trees mean a lot of leaves. So, you know, then the dump site is, doesn't matter which one you go to, you're 20 miles away from the dump. So, you know, you got to be able to fit a lot of material. So for a long time, what I did before I did have a debris loader, in the very beginning I had a push mower, and I would use a push mower to reduce the size, and then I would put it in trash cans and then dump the trash cans into the back of my truck. And then, you know, or I would tarp it and put it into my trailer. A lot of the times I would have to use either the push mower. When I got a 36, I would use a walk behind mower, or just some kind of mower to reduce the size of the leaves so that I could to carry more material. So anyways, I hope that kind of explains that setup. And my setup's dirty, okay? I'm not the kind of guy that's on here polishing my setup to make it look good for you. I go out and it gets dirty every day, it gets used hard. It is what it is. So I will say, okay, I've been asked about my setup. I'm gonna go ahead and lay mine out. So we have the 61-inch Ferris. That's been a great mower. It's a mid-grade mower. It's not a commercial, it's mid-grade, but it has been a great mower for us, and we've made a lot of money with that this year. I use a 36-inch Exmark that you can't really see. I also have a Toro belt drive. I like both of them. If you're mowing weekly lawns, hydro flies, man. The belt drive is great too. I've used the belt drive for a long time on mowing weekly lawns, and for a long time I only used a 36-inch mower. So a 36 is great for me, but the mower size depends on, one, the property size you're servicing, and two, you know, gate access. For me, 36-inch gets me into just about every yard, and it's pretty efficient. And when it comes to front yards, this isn't too big, you know. I mean, some of our corner lots get pretty big, but I really stick to more of, I wouldn't call them small, but they're kind of they're on the smaller end of mid-size. Then we're carrying the 9010 and the 8010. We've been using the 8010 for the last couple years. We got them last year. Before that, it was a 770. The 770 is a great blower, and then before that we had the 580T, and all the way back to the 413 and a handheld pull-in blower. So you know, it's kind of been get something stronger, something stronger, something stronger. The 8010 was the first blower that I ever bought brand new. Other than that, I bought them at pawn shops and stuff. And then the 9010, I bought that. Pretty cool blower. We're testing it out and seeing if we like it. We do have the Billy Goat debris loader, and then our trailer is a East Texas trailer. We got the cage on it, which is nice. We put our blowers in there. The downside is, like, when we go to put the blowers in, they don't fit just sliding them in, so we have to actually tilt them, then slide them in, then put them back up. That's kind of a bummer. The 770, the 770 slides right in. As far as racks go, you know, I'm not a big, it's got to look shiny and green and frills kind of guy. We just have this stock trailer racks, which is great, but they did mount these poorly because they're too high up, and I can't fit a unit here really. It's a very, very tight fit because of the angle iron and how high this is up. So if they were just to move this down, say 4 or 5 inches, this would have been great, and you know, I could fit 3 units. But for me, I only use 2 units. Normally I put them in the middle rack just because that happens to be, you know, where it falls best for me as far as comfortability. In the back, we've got the trailer gate, right? This happens. So last time this happened and I replaced it, I went through and I put this one first, and then, because this is where I always wear through, just because when we put the gate down, that's where we walk through on the gate, you know, just walk up from the because you're parking with your passenger side here, so you're walking up this side most if you got to go into the trailer for anything. So I ended up putting these, you know, angle iron, put that in. It makes the gate pretty heavy, but I don't have a grill lift or anything. That would be a nice addition, but I just put it up because I'm a Juggernaut and I'm not gonna wuss out. Now this is mostly a catch for my oil and stuff now, and I've got my rope in there, but it was great. It was a gas can rack that I would put my gas cans in. Now I can really only put my 2-gallon gas can in there. I can't put my 5 because my gas cans get stolen all the time. I did for a long time run a cable lock through here, and then eventually they started just cutting the locks, and you know, bicycle locks, if you just pull them real hard, they'll break, and people that are thieves kind of know that. But the problem with this rack is gas cans now, they make them real wide, you know, the no spills just stupidly wide, and it won't fit in there. So that's a downside. I have the 3,500-pound axle, which needs to be upgraded, but I have 4,500-pound springs because my leaf springs broke. So, you know, we're gonna upgrade the axle probably. I might upgrade the trailer. It's about time that, you know, welds are starting to pop, and I've had it for a long time. It's almost time just to get a new one. We do have the Little Wonder walk behind blower, but that's not really relevant. It's a pretty nice addition. Other than that, we drive a 20-year-old F350. I bought it for $3,000. You can find them normally for around you know, $4,000 to $6,000. It was stolen last year. Turns out F350s are easy to steal in the age range that it's at. We got a 2004, so almost 20 years old. And then we get, you know, got the box on there. But you don't have to have like a super nice truck. For me, everything's paid for, you know. There's nothing on this setup that I owe money for. But that doesn't mean if I needed to, I wouldn't go out and buy a truck. It just hadn't been an option for me in the past. And even now that I have the option to be able to finance, I am very strategic and careful. You mess up your credit once and you realize that you have to be very, 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 very methodical about your moves financially, and you should be. You know, before, you know, my credit got messed up, I was just like, I can do it. Let's go sign those papers. Now I realize, yeah, let's sit down and put some pen to paper. And do I want to do that? I can do that, but do I want to do that? You know, or maybe you can't do it. It just kind of is what it is. So anyways, that's a quick rundown of my fall setup and what we're using. I'm gonna go ahead and hey, if you like that and you want to see how we installed our box and our leaf loader, I'm gonna link a video to that where you can kind of see that, because I know a lot of people, you know, it seems simple and they want to see how other people are installing the box. I'm gonna go ahead and leave a link to that so you can see it. And from there, I'm gonna go ahead and get to this leaf cleanup, and I'll see you in the next one.